What's going on, guys? So 2025 is gearing up to be a crazy year for the MMO genre, with some of the most ambitious projects we've ever seen. These 8 games promise not just innovation, but entirely new experiences, pushing the limits of what MMOs can achieve. Now, a quick note, while some of these games are slated for 2025, delays are always possible. Game development is unpredictable, especially with projects this large. That said, the ambition behind these titles make them worth the wait. So let's dive into the 8 most ambitious MMOs of 2025. To start off, Chrono Odyssey, developed by Npixel, is shaping up to be one of the most visually stunning and mechanically innovative MMOs. While many games promise innovation, Chrono Odyssey delivers with its groundbreaking time manipulation mechanic, which is a feature that fundamentally changes the way players approach combat and strategy. Let's dive into the time mechanics, the game's centerpiece. Players will have the ability to manipulate time in combat, offering a level of depth and strategy that goes beyond traditional MMO gameplay. Imagine rewinding a fight to undo a teammate's critical mistake or freezing enemies mid-attack to give your group a chance to reposition. These mechanics aren't just flashy, they require skill and timing to execute effectively, making combat in Chrono Odyssey feel dynamic and rewarding. The time manipulation system also extends to solo play. For example, if you're exploring a dungeon and fall into a trap, you can rewind to a point before you triggered it, saving yourself from certain death. This feature adds a layer of strategy to exploration, encouraging players to take risks they might otherwise avoid. The world of Chrono Odyssey is another standout feature. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it's a seamless open world filled with diverse biomes, including dense forests, arid deserts, icy tundras, and sprawling ruins. These environments are packed with dynamic weather systems and day and night cycles that don't just look great but also affect the gameplay. For example, certain monsters may only appear at night, or weather changes could impact visibility and movement speed. PvP fans won't be left out either, as large-scale battles between factions are a major focus, with time manipulation playing a critical role. Imagine a coordinated attack where one team slows down time to gain an edge while another rewinds their movements to evade capture. These battles are expected to be a highlight of the game, offering a unique twist on traditional PvP combat. Slated for a late 2025 release, Chrono Odyssey has already captured the attention of MMO fans worldwide. With its innovative mechanics, stunning visuals, and immersive world, it's not just a game, it's a bold reimagining of MMOs and what they can be. Whether you're a hardcore PvP player or a casual explorer, Chrono Odyssey promises something truly special. Ashes of Creation is, without a doubt, one of the most ambitious MMOs ever attempted. Developed by Intrepid Studios, the game's bold vision has captivated the MMO community for years. At its core, Ashes of Creation is a sandbox MMO where players, not the developers, dictate the world's growth and evolution. Let's start with the groundbreaking node system. Nodes are areas in the game world that develop based on player activity. Imagine a group of players settling in a region to gather resources, craft items, and build homes. Over time, that region's node will grow from a tiny outpost into a bustling city, complete with its own unique architecture, quests, and even NPCs. But here's the twist. Rival factions or guilds might see this growing city as a threat and launch a siege to tear it down. PvP sieges in Ashes of Creation are massive events featuring hundreds of players on each side. But it's not just about brute force. Sieges require strategy, teamwork, and coordination. For PvE fans, there's plenty to love too. The game features dynamic dungeons and raid bosses that scale in difficulty based on the development of nearby nodes. Some bosses might even remain locked away unless specific conditions are met. Another highlight is the naval combat. In Phase 3 of Alpha 2, scheduled for May 2025, players will gain access to naval exploration and combat. You'll be able to build and customize your own ship, sail to uncharted islands, and battle pirates or even become one yourself. Crafting and resource gathering are equally intricate. The game encourages specialization, meaning players can become experts in specific trades, from blacksmithing to farming. The economy is player-driven, so your role in the world truly matters. Intrepid Studios has been very transparent about its development process, allowing players to join Alpha 2 testing by purchasing a supporter pack. This means you can experience the game early and contribute feedback that shapes its future. While the full release may be a couple years away, 2025 will be a pivotal year for Ashes of Creation. The Quinfall is an MMO with staggering level of ambition. Developed by Valreg Technology, this game promises to deliver a medieval fantasy world that evolves based on player choices and actions. One of its standout features is its dynamic weather system. Now, Ashes of Creation and Throne of Liberty have already factored this in, but many MMOs, the weather is purely cosmetic. The Quinfall takes it a step further. Rainstorms can cause flooding in low-lying areas, Snow can block off mountain paths, and strong winds might make certain quests or activities more challenging. This system forces players to adapt, creating a sense of immersion that few games can match. Crafting and trading are also at the heart of the Quinfall. Every item in the game, from basic tools to legendary weapons, is crafted by players. The economy is entirely player-driven, with regional resources creating a natural demand for trade between areas. For example, a guild controlling a region rich in rare metals could dominate the market, influencing prices across the entire game world. Exploration is another key element. The Quinfall world is massive, filled with ancient ruins, hidden treasures, and unique NPCs, but exploration comes with risks. Venturing into dangerous areas alone could leave you vulnerable to both monsters and rival players. However, despite its potential, the game has faced heavy criticism for its reliance on pre-made assets. Some players worry this could lead to a lack of originality, but the developers have stated that these assets are temporary and are being replaced as development progresses. If the team can deliver on their promises, this game could redefine what it means to play a living, breathing world. The Quinfall is set to release on January 24th to early access on Steam. Dune Awakening is not just a game, it's an invitation to step into the world of Frank Herbert's sci-fi masterpiece. Funcom has taken on the daunting task of bringing Arrakis to life, and early glimpses suggest they're succeeding in spectacular fashion. The first thing to know about Dune Awakening is that it's a survival MMO. Survival mechanics aren't just a gimmick, they're central to the gameplay. Arrakis is a harsh desert planet where water is more valuable than gold. Players will need to manage their hydration carefully, using tools like still suits to recycle moisture from their bodies. This adds an ongoing sense of tension, as every step into the desert feels like a risk. The most valuable resource, of course, is spice. Now, harvesting spice is a high-stakes activity because it's not just the players who want it. Sandworms are drawn to its presence. These towering, legendary creatures are both a danger and a spectacle. Seeing a sandworm rise from the sands is a jaw-dropping moment, but surviving the encounter is an entirely different story. Faction politics play a major role in the multiplayer side of this game. Now, players can align themselves with various houses, each with its own unique perks and objectives. For example, joining House Atreides might focus on diplomacy and alliances, while siding with House Harkonnen could prioritize brute force and resource control. The PvP systems are deeply integrated into this political framework. Players can form alliances and wage wars for control of spice fields, key trade routes, or strategic outposts. Sieges and battles are not just about brute strength. They require planning, as players must balance their faction's resources, morale, and manpower. Exploration in Dune Awakening is equally ambitious. The deserts of Arrakis are vast and ever-changing, shaped by dynamic weather systems. Now, sandstorms can sweep across the landscape, obscuring visibility and even forcing players to seek shelter. For the bold, exploration can yield ancient ruins, rare crafting materials, and lore-rich artifacts that deepen your connection to the world. Funcom has gone to great lengths to make Arrakis feel alive, with sweeping dunes, detailed outposts, and weather effects that immerse players in the harsh beauty of the planet. Slated for an early 2025 release for PC, Dune Awakening aims to be more than just a game. It's a full-fledged experience that combines survival, politics, exploration, and the rich lore of Dune universe into one cohesive package. Aion 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to one of the most iconic MMOs in gaming history. Developed by NCSoft, this game is designed to take everything players loved about the original Aion and elevate it with modern mechanics, visuals, and a new sense of scale. Let's start with the aerial combat, the hallmark feature that sets Aion 2 apart. Unlike many MMOs where movement is largely limited to the ground, Aion 2 gives the players the freedom to fly. But this isn't just a gimmick, it's deeply integrated into the gameplay. Combat in the skies is dynamic and fast-paced, with players using flight not only for mobility but for a strategic advantage. Imagine engaging in an aerial dogfight where positioning and timing are just as important as raw power. Flying isn't limited to combat either, it's also a key part of exploration. Hidden floating islands are scattered throughout the game world, accessible only to those who take to the skies. These islands often hold rare resources, powerful enemies, or hidden lore waiting to be uncovered. Speaking of the world, Aion 2 features a seamless open world design. The regions are massive and varied, ranging from lush forests and icy mountains to ancient ruins and bustling cities. Dynamic events often occur throughout the world, encouraging players to band together to complete objectives or defeat powerful world bosses. Customization is another standout feature. Aion 2 offers an incredibly detailed character creation system, allowing players to craft avatars that are truly unique. This extends into skill trees and combat styles, giving players the flexibility to tailor their characters to their preferred playstyle. Whether you want to be a heavily armored tank, a nimble aerial scout, or a devastating magic user, Aion 2 has options for everyone. Visually, Aion 2 is stunning. NCSoft has leveraged modern technology to create a world that feels alive and immersive. From the smallest details like the fluttering of the leaves in the wind to the grandeur of massive fortresses, every part of the game is designed to captivate players. With its release scheduled for late 2025, Aion 2 is shaping up to not just be a worthy sequel, but a game that redefines what an MMO can achieve in terms of scale, freedom, and player choice. Pax Dei is taking a fresh and bold approach to MMO design, moving away from typical combat-driven experience to focus on community, cooperation, and creativity. Developed by Mainframe Industries, this sandbox MMO is inspired by medieval European folklore and emphasizes on player-driven stories over pre-written narratives. At its core, Pax Dei is a game about building and sustaining a community. Players will start small, forming villages and crafting the tools needed to survive. Over time, these villages can grow into bustling towns, complete with blacksmiths, marketplaces, and fortifications. What's unique is that every item in the game, from weapons to buildings, is crafted by players, making crafting and resource gathering essential components of the gameplay. The developers have put a significant emphasis on creating an economy that feels organic and alive. Resources are regional, meaning players will need to trade with others to access materials not available in their area. This creates opportunities for merchants and traders to establish trade routes and supply chains, and for bandits to ambush these same said routes. The economy isn't just about making money, it's about creating a living world that every role has a value. Combat in Pax Dei is less frequent than traditional MMOs, but it's no less impactful. Villages and towns can be raided by other players or NPC factions, and defending your home requires teamwork and preparations. Sieges are large-scale events where attackers and defenders must strategize to gain the upper hand. On the smaller scale, players can take on roles like guards or mercenaries to protect trade caravans or escort explorers through dangerous regions. Pax Dei is currently in early access right now on Steam, and it's expected to make significant progress in 2025. With its unique focus on community, economy, and exploration, it's shaping up to be a game that redefines what an MMO can be. Whether you're a builder, a trader, or an adventurer, Pax Dei offers a world where your actions truly matter. ArcheAge 2, or now titled ArcheAge Chronicles, is the highly anticipated sequel to one of the most beloved sandbox MMOs of all time. Developed by XL Games and powered by Unreal Engine, ArcheAge Chronicles builds upon the core principles of freedom and exploration that made the original game so popular. Let's start with naval combat, which is being significantly expanded in the sequel. Players will be able to build and customize their own ships, whether for trade, exploration, or naval warfare. Picture massive sea battles where fleets of players clash over valuable resources or control of strategic waterways. The developers have promised to introduce new ship mechanics, including advanced physics and tactical upgrades, making naval combat more immersive than ever. On land, ArcheAge Chronicles will offer deeper housing and settlement systems. Players won't just be building homes, they'll be constructing thriving towns that can serve as economic hubs or defensive strongholds. These player-built settlements play a significant role in the game's economy, influencing trade routes and attracting NPC merchants. Speaking of economy, ArcheAge Chronicles is sticking to its player-driven roots. Trade and crafting systems have been overhauled to provide more depth with regional resources and dynamic market conditions, adding complexity to trading. Players can choose to become influential merchants, controlling supply chains and earning massive profits, or risking it all in dangerous trade runs through hostile territory. Combat is another area where ArcheAge Chronicles is innovating. Large-scale siege battles return, allowing players to engage in epic wars to capture castles and territory. These sieges will incorporate new mechanics, including destructible environments and siege-specific tactics, adding a layer of strategy to the chaos. Finally, let's talk about the visuals. Just like other MMOs in this video, ArcheAge Chronicles will be using Unreal Engine 5, featuring some visually stunning environments from lush jungles and snowy mountains to bustling port cities. The world of ArcheAge Chronicles feels alive and immersive. Again, slated for release in 2025, ArcheAge Chronicles is shaping up to be on the list of most ambitious sandbox MMOs ever created, offering players unparalleled freedom to carve out their own destinies. The final game for this video is Soulframe. Now, Soulframe is the next major project from Digital Extremes, the creators of Warframe. While Warframe was a fast-paced sci-fi shooter, Soulframe takes a slower, more deliberate approach set in a mystical fantasy world inspired by nature and restoration. The combat system is one of the game's standout features. Unlike the frantic gunplay of Warframe, Soulframe focuses on melee combat with an emphasis on timing and strategy. Players will wield swords, axes, and other melee weapons, with each encounter feeling like a test of skill rather than a simple hack and slash. Magic also plays a significant role, with spells that draw power from the natural world. Exploration is another key element of Soulframe. The game's world is described as open and interconnected, filled with ancient ruins, hidden pathways, and puzzles that reward players who take the time to uncover its secrets. This emphasis on environmental storytelling allows players to piece together the lore as they traverse the world. Thematically, Soulframe is deeply tied to nature. Players are cast as protectors of the land, tasked with restoring balance to a world corrupted by industrial forces. This narrative focus sets the game apart from many MMOs, offering a story-driven experience that feels personal and impactful. Finally, Soulframe features a unique aesthetic that blends organic and industrial elements. The art direction is a stark departure from sleek, futuristic design of Warframe, embracing earthy tones and intricate designs inspired by natural shapes. While Soulframe doesn't have a specific release date yet, its development is progressing steadily. With major updates expected in 2025, this game is poised to offer a deeply immersive and emotional MMO experience unlike anything we've seen before. These 8 MMOs represent the future of the genre, each bringing something unique to the table. With 2025 shaping up to be such a landmark year, which game are you most excited about? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMO and gaming content, and I will see you guys in the next video.